I've just been reunited with this fantastic Group A Volvo that I last raced at Bathurst in 1986. So I haven't set eyes on it since that October in 1986. It's a lovely old girl. I'd like to show you around it. Unlike modern race cars, it's very analogue. It's got gauges for oil pressure, oil temperature. It's got a normal tacho which wavers around a bit. It's got a boost gauge, very important, the boost gauge. It runs about 1.5 bar, and back in the day, 1986, these were like cutting edge Group A cars. I had some great races with a very young Glenn Seaton, George Fury. My teammate was Robbie Francevic. It was a pretty good time. It's got a 5-speed Getrag gearbox. First gear is over to the left and back, second, third, fourth and fifth, normal H pattern. It's a really nice synchromesh gearbox to use, and most of the Group A cars of the time, the BMWs, Dick Johnson's Mustang, the HDT Holdens, they all used a Getrag gearbox. It was only in the 90s that we switched to a Hollinger gearbox. The roll cage was all bolted together. Nowadays, of course, the roll cage is a really complex structure that actually is the chassis of the car. But in these days, the car was a proper production line body shell. The roll cage was bolted in, as you can see. The trim is removed, but it's pretty simple. These were like world touring cars. They competed in the European Touring Car Championship, they competed in Scandinavia, and of course they competed in Australia. The engine's relatively simple. It's a single camshaft Volvo 2-litre engine with a turbocharger, quite a big intercooler at the front of the engine. In those days they were mechanical fuel injection, so there was no electronics, although later in '86 there were, the electronics started to enter the business, so to speak. It made about 340 horsepower in its time, makes good torque. The car's quite light, about 1150 kilos. It's got rack and pinion steering, nice steering, but no power steering. They didn't have power steering in those days. It's kind of heavy to steer, but it's very accurate, so it gives you quite good feel. In the day, one of the best features of this car was its brakes. I remember racing it at Calder Park in 1986, outbraking everybody at the end of the straight. One by one, I fought my way to the lead, all under brakes. When you look at the brakes, there's nothing unusual about it. It's normal Group A stuff. It's got a cast iron rotor. It's about 340 mil and a 4-spot caliper and a 4-spot caliper on the back, not quite as big. But I think the secret to it was that it weight transfers quite a lot under brakes. It stops really well even today. The brief drive I've had in it, it stops quite well, although it used to lock the rears back in 1986, and you know what? It still locks the rears. You'd think they would have fixed it, wouldn't you?